Okay, everybody, I thought I would give a brief tutorial on how to use ProffieConfig. I know there's a lot of people out there that, they get lost, whatever, on trying to add fonts or alter settings when it comes to their Proffie lightsabers. So I figured I'd give a video on one of the newer tools that's out there. So I'm going to leave the link to this down in the description below. Other things that you may want to read would be the pod, Proffie documentation. This covers a lot of the basic info and the most up-to-date way to set up using the Arduino upload method, if you prefer to do that. But for now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to select the latest version of this. Okay, once that has downloaded, we're going to extract that into a location where we know. Okay, then you go ahead and hit the setup. Now setup will definitely take a few minutes. And one thing you want to look out for is during the setup, you'll more often than not get a little Windows security alert, and a lot of people miss this and they just kind of sit there and sit there and sit there and think that it's stalled. But you just click that, authorize, and then go ahead and proceed with the DFU install. And this will take a few minutes. Alright, once that completes, we'll go ahead and hit next on this. Now, I have a multi-monitor setup, so it opens up the tutorial and then pushes this off to one of the other screens. It's something that I'll need to let the developer know about. But basically, this will walk you through some of the processes and setups. It's a little starting tutorial. And you can go through it or not. I will leave that up to you. I'm going to go ahead and skip in this instance because I'm going to actually guide you through a lot of the processes myself. Okay, so this is the primary screen. Now at this point we're going to go ahead and add a config. Now you can generate a new one by just typing in a name and hitting OK, but I'm going to import one. I'm going to browse to where that is located. I'm going to go ahead and name it whatever I want, which in this case it's already named correctly. Once it finishes importing and doesn't detect any errors, you'll be able to hit edit. Now this is the general settings page. From here you can select the type of board, which it'll be either V2 or V3 depending on if you have a version 2.2 Proffie board or a version 3.9 Proffie board. You'll be able to enable mass storage, web USB from here. You can set your volume controls, number of buttons, your board orientation, and a couple of other things too, like your save volume, save presets, save colors. You also want to disable basic parser styles and disable diagnostic commands unless you need them on. You can also add in extra defines. These are what go at the top of your config file if you're doing this via the Arduino method. From here, you can also edit your prop file. You can select whichever prop file you want to use. Most will choose the FET profile. And of course it bugged out. Another thing, this is beta software, of course. But from here you can do things like, say you want to enable stab to turn on and twist to turn off. I'll go ahead and do twist to turn on as well. You can also enable things like your, say, color lists and everything, your edit mode, other things like the special abilities. From there, you can go to your blade arrays. Now, this is where you set up things like your number of pixels for your blade, which power pins they're connected to, and which pin it's connected to. You can also select the color order if you're using something other than the standard green, red, blue color order. You also have your blade detect change here if you want to do that. You can set all that up here. I don't personally use it, but there are people out there that do. Then we get to the main point right here. This is the screen where you're going to be doing all your editing of your presets and blade styles. So here, the preset name right here, that is going to be just the name to keep yourself organized. So that way I know what font is what from this list here. Okay. The font directory, this is where you're going to put your information that's on the SD card. Specifically, the first part is the folder name that the preset needs to look for the font, then separated by a semicolon and then common for the edit mode audio files, vocal files. From there, select whichever font you want. You can also add your track file, but then you go over here, and this is your blade style. This is where on pages like here on FET's site, if you were to go and grab, go to his library, and say you want to get a basic rotoscope. You go to main blade. You change all your options however you want them. Style code. I agree, it'll say it copied it to the clipboard. And you go back to this screen, you select all the text in this box, then you hit paste. And that will replace all of it, as you can see. And that blade style will now apply to the blade that is on, or the primary blade in this case. From there, you hit save. Now you can also verify your config from here, which this will basically do the same thing that you would do if you verify in Arduino. It'll run it through a self-check to make sure that it's good to upload to the board, or if it detects any problems. And it does take a couple minutes. And as you can see, it verified successfully. So I'm going to go ahead and show how it looks when you add one. So in order to add a font, do that, and then down at the bottom of the list, you'll see new preset. Now you name this however you want to. Just like that. You put in whichever directory you want on the SD card. And then common if you have that folder on there as well. Here's where you put your track information, which I don't ever really use. And as you can see, on all the blades that show up on here is filled with default a blue blade. This way you can actually have something that works in place to test out to see if the new font folder naming and everything is correct. But again, in order to just change the blade style, you just highlight all the text and then paste the code that you got from either from the font folder or from the font that you bought. Sometimes they include blade style. This is where you would paste it. Otherwise, from FET's site, this is where you would paste it. And again, just can hit save. Once done here, you can leave this open and just make sure you select here. Now we're going to upload. Now, assuming that you went through the whole process of setup, which this takes care of all the dependencies and everything, all you have to do is plug in your Proffie board into the USB. I'm going to show this to you on my camera here. So most Proffies don't have, or most Sabres don't have a remote port like mine does here, which is a USB-C port. Most of them you'll end up having to use the port that's on the board itself, right here. So you'll plug into this using a micro USB adapter or micro USB cable, and then you'll plug that into your computer. Now, if you're not sure if the cable you're using is capable of doing data transfer, you can always plug it in using a controller from a console to test to see if it works. But you'll go ahead and plug this in, just like so. Now you can check to see if it worked by either if mass storage is turned on, you'll get this pop-up saying that this is all the contents of the SD card. Or you can check in Hardware Manager, or Device Manager, sorry. And it should show up, if I remember correctly. I can never remember where it shows up. Yeah. In any event, it should show up here at some point. I know it's in there. You can also test it this way by just doing this. Just refresh boards. This will go through its little check. And it should show up as this one. It shows up as COM10. Sometimes it doesn't. It'll be COM9, COM20. It's whatever port it's plugged into, basically. So what you'll do is you'll select it, and then make sure you have the config that you want to upload selected in this dropdown, and then just apply. It'll go through its self-check again. And I do not need this open anymore. Definitely takes a few minutes. Now, this may go faster on your computer, it may not. Just let it sit and do its thing. As of right now, nothing will happen if you accidentally unplug it, because it's still doing its self-check. Oh, we got an error. Now, when that error happens, what you can do is on the Profi board itself, there's two little buttons, here and here. Now, if you press both of them down, I'm trying to do this on camera, it's a little hard. Press and hold that one and then release that one. Now this board is now in bootloader mode. What that looks like is in Device Manager. If you go down, you should see right here, STM32 bootloader. That means the board is connected, but it's not. It's connected and waiting for new software. So when you need to do that, you'll select bootloader recovery, and then apply selected config to the board. And again, it'll go through its check. Now, most of the time, it won't give you that error. It just does that sometimes because Windows is weird. It's still also a work in progress software, but it is a lot easier for some people to use. Now, at this point, it's definitely uploading to the board. So once it's finished, the board will reset and the Saber will start back up. But at this point, you do not want to unplug anything because it is actively transferring information to the board. And as you can see, the process has successfully completed. And go ahead and close that out. Then from here, you're good to unplug and enjoy your Saber. Now yours probably won't be as complicated or as cool as this one, but you know. So I thank you for putting up with my rambling way of describing everything, and hopefully this will help you use ProffieOS and ProffieConfig.